The AI disruption of entertainment, including Hollywood, traditional films and TV, as well as internet content, is coming, and a lot of people in the traditional entertainment industry are resistant to it. And then others that are becoming more open to it, I don't think are quite seeing the future. And they're not going to be as ready for it as they could, perhaps. And so in this video, I want to get into my thoughts about the effects that AI will have on entertainment and kind of how you can set yourself up to thrive in the future of AI-powered entertainment, let's call it. Hollywood, right? I worked in Hollywood for over a decade and wrote and directed a movie that's on Amazon Prime and Apple TV, and recently started using AI tools over the last year or so, and have made different videos. Some are on my YouTube channel. If you go to the short section, you can just see some videos I made for fun with all AI tools, and then I'm making some for clients now. But has such an appeal, obviously, that you could make movies or movie-like entertainment videos, shorts, series for almost no money, with no not needing to actually execute a film shoot, right? Even if you had a lot of money, it's still difficult to actually shoot a good movie and have all the pieces work, and the actors and the locations, they get the right camera angles and the right takes and all that. Whereas if you can do it from a computer, potentially that could be a lot easier, a lot quicker, a lot cheaper. So huge appeal there, and that's why I'm getting into it, and I'm using the tools. And of course, a lot of people in the traditional industry are resistant because they're afraid it's going to take their jobs, and it's going to replace a lot of people. And then also they're just, it's not going to be able to do what humans do. Telling stories is a human skill, and AI is not going to be able to replicate the same kind of level of storytelling and etc. that humans can. And there's definitely some truth to that, which I'm about to get into, but it's certainly going to replace a lot of jobs, and it's going to make it possible to make movie-like entertainment for cheaper and with less people. And that's what I want to really, get into, is that if we don't need this many people, right, then we can essentially have a movie studio or whatever, an entertainment studio, creative studio with 5 or 10 people, versus you look at something like a Disney or Warner Brothers, and there's thousands of employees. And so this is huge, right? Because it's not just about taking this studio model and using AI tools to replace people's jobs. It's really about starting a whole new model. And I think this is where a lot of people are going to miss the boat, or they're just going to be slow to adapt. Maybe they don't miss the boat, but they're going to be slow to adapt. Hollywood, but any traditional industry, not just Hollywood, any traditional industry that has long established practices and the way all the companies are set up and the workflows and all that, very hard to completely change. It's not just Hollywood studios. Big, corporations across every industry are going to be slower to adapt to AI, most likely, because it's hard to just change these established practices and the way the whole companies are set up, and everybody who reports to who and who does what and all that. Starting a new model from scratch is going to be able to allow people to move a lot faster than the traditional. So I'm mostly in this focusing on Hollywood just because that's where I used to work, and this is where I'm focused now, but it's going to apply to many industries. So point being is, let's look at Mr. Beast, right? The #1 YouTuber in the world, and basically the #1 entertainer in the world. And okay, he has a full studio now, like he has soundstage and employees, and they're making $1 million videos all the time, right? Multi-million-dollar videos. So he is his own studio, and he started it from scratch, and he built it himself, and he built his own model to run it. And he kept trying to hire people from Hollywood to come in and help, but then they would try to institute the old Hollywood model, and he would look at that and be like, why would we do that? That's going to slow things down. It's going to make them more expensive. It's going to be more of a pain in the ass. We're going to need more people, etc. And so he then would fire them. So he said he's done this multiple times where he tries to hire someone from Hollywood, and then they try to bring in this old model, and he sees that it would be worse, and so he fires them. So it's the same kind of thing with what I'm seeing as these new AI studios, and I think following Mr. Beast's lead in the sense of, let's start from scratch and design a new model that's going to work the best considering the technologies that we have. And in that case, you're not going to need a ton of people. You're going to need 5 or 10 people. And who do you need is a good question. And who you're going to need is people that are excellent at storytelling, directing, like visual, some kind of visual expert, meaning like they have a great eye for visual design, just visuals, right? Like what looks good. And these people's, because yes, the AI will be able to make amazing visuals. It will be able to tell at least better stories than it can now. I don't know how good it's going to get at storytelling, but certainly much better than right now. And it's going to be able to have great shots in a movie or a video, but you need someone to guide it and select. You need someone that knows how to pick the best stuff and knows how to identify, oh, this isn't the best. We need to keep trying different versions until we get a better version. And only people that are excellent at those things, at storytelling, at directing, at cinematography. I was saying visuals before. Cinematography is a more official word or whatever for film. You're going to need experts at that to be able to pick what is best, be able to say, no, we can make this better. And that's what's going to be most important. Those are the people you're going to need. You're not going to need experts or people to as far as the tools, because you can learn the tools quite quickly. You're going to be able to learn them even quicker in the future because the companies making these tools are completely incentivized to make them easy to use so that they can get more users and make more money. So they're completely incentivized to make them very easy to use. So they're going to get easier and easier as time goes on, not harder, but they're going to get much better in terms of what they're capable of. You don't have to worry about becoming an expert at the tools. What you need to worry about is becoming an expert or super skilled at a creative craft, such as writing and storytelling, directing, cinematography, and sound, right? Sound and music being two separate things. Sound and music being two separate things. Sound in movies, right? You're going to need people with good ears that know what things should sound like. It sounds simpler than it is. If you haven't made a movie and you haven't been through sound post-production, trust me, it's not as simple as it seems. But point being is you're going to need those creative experts, let's call them, or creative just people that are highly skilled. And AI tools will be easy to learn and use. So what you need to be doing, if you aren't already, is developing some creative skill set and really becoming not just great at it, but unique at it, meaning you have to bring your own unique style to the table. And this is what you need to be focused on doing. And this applies across basically every industry. I'm just, like I said, just focusing on movies and entertainment, but this is going to apply across every industry. You need to develop your own creative skill set, and then you'll use AI tools to execute. But you need your own creative skill set to be useful. Otherwise, you won't be needed. AI will do it. You need your own creative skill set. Start developing your own creative skill set and your own creative style and a voice. Like, you got to have something unique to say. Otherwise, you're not going to be unique and you're not going to be needed. So that's where I want to focus on. And we're going to bring this new era of entertainment in, and that's where I'm at. I'm like, okay, I've developed my skill set and I'm continuing to develop it all the time. It's never done, right? Becoming a great storyteller. I'm a writer and director. It's a lifetime journey or path that I'm on, right? There's no point at which I'm not going to continue to work on getting better. but I've developed it to a professional level, a high level. Like I said, I wrote and directed a movie on Amazon Prime and Apple TV. And so now I'm experimenting with the tools, but I have that skill set, and that's going to be my unique competitive advantage. So you need a competitive advantage, and it's got to be a creative skill set. And so start devoting time, energy into learning and developing whatever that creative skill set is. That's the most important thing, not learning how to use AI tools. Now, as you're once you've developed it far enough, again, it's never over, but once you've developed your skill set far enough where you're like, you have some confidence in it, you've developed a voice or style, then is a good time to integrate the AI tools to make everything faster and open up your capabilities of what you can produce in terms of like video content with the AI tools. Otherwise, it will cost you a lot of money if you have to shoot everything yourself. But if you do it too early, if you're using the AI tools too early, you're likely going to rely on them too much, and your output is not going to be all that great, because it's going to be what the AI puts, and your ability to judge what is good and to change it and make it better and all that is not going to have reached a good enough level where the output will be very good, and then you're going to it'd be like if you never took the training wheels off a bike. And so then you're going to be limited, right? It's going to be like you're riding a bike with training wheels versus without, right? So you want to develop your skills to a certain level before you're starting to rely on the AI tools, right? Otherwise, you'll never get that good, and you're going to be replaced by someone who is really good and using AI tools. I'm going to end the video there, but this is something to just really think about, and just think about not trying to replace old models. And take this across any industry. Don't try to replace old models. Start to think about what's a new model and how would that be designed that incorporates AI technology to the most effective and most holistic use of the technology. Kind of design it based on using the technology. This is the same thing as businesses coming into the internet age, right? Okay, businesses that just added websites to their old models, compare that to businesses that are natively created for the internet, and look at how much they're worth. The numbers are crazy. And just how much more they're used on the internet and all that. So anyway, you get the point. And start thinking about that and develop your creative skill set, please. And I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.